Welcome to Improv for the Podcast. On this week's episode, we're joined by Owen Slevin, who will tell us all about his improvisational journey. We'll play a couple games, and most importantly, learn how he improved his life. Let's hit it. Welcome to Improv for the Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Lee Evans, and tonight I am joined by the incredibly talented fan of many sports, wettest man in America, Owen Slevin. Owen, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. This is exciting.
It is very exciting. Now, Owen, why are you the wettest man in America?
It is still raining here in Los Angeles. I thought maybe we had gotten through all of it, but
I know.
Today I woke up and chose the wrong outfit, and now I'm pretty wet. So,
pretty wet.
Yeah.
Pretty wet. So Owen is wet right now because those of us who live in Los Angeles at this time are in a crisis. Sure, other parts of the country are getting snowed in. There's a nor'easter on the East Coast, but us here, we're dealing with rain. Inches
of rain.
Yeah.
Biblical amounts of rain.
Biblical amounts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know anyone who's building a boat right now?
I don't.
Okay. I don't either, but I feel like we should maybe find someone just in case.
Yes. No, yeah. I did see videos of like the Kern River. It's like, it's insane right at the moment.
Oh, yeah. Man. Crazier than the LA River?
No. Nothing's crazier than that.
Good. I don't know. I was on the freeway today and it felt like a river in a couple spots. That 110. Oh man.
Yeah.
It's a little dicey.
The 110 interchange will never not be insane.
Yeah, I work like right around that area, or I go through there a lot. I hate it.
No, yeah, coming down, I think it's 101, and then getting on there, and then you're like, oh, I have to get over 9 lanes to get to where, and then and then there's a secret way through like the exit on the right where you can get back onto the 10.
Yeah, it's the shortcut.
Yeah. Sort of shortcut.
Yeah, I've seen like a sign posted on the internet, and it's like, or like there's a meme of it. I know because people are like, oh, I don't know what to do because it's all the like 6th Street, 9th Street, it's like all the streets.
Yeah, I've been here 13 or 14 years, and I'm still, white knuckling through that.
Well, if you don't know it now, it's probably too late. I'm sorry.
Probably.
Owen.
I just avoid it altogether. I haven't lived on the east side. I've only lived in the valley and on the west side.
Okay, I've lived exclusively on the east side, so it's a frequent part of my life.
Yeah.
All right, Owen. So before we jump into things, what's your relationship to IFTP, Improv for the People? How long you been involved? When did you start taking classes?
I think it was late 2019 because obviously there's a big milestone right after 2019.
Not familiar.
That changed a lot. But yeah, I think it was around then because I moved to the neighborhood that the theater is located in, and I was looking just for something. And I was, specifically looking for improv, and there it was, 5 minutes from my house. So I thought, oh, okay, sweet. I started in 2019 and then stuck with it through 2020 in its various forms, whatever it was, on Zoom, which was never as good, but I was living alone in an unfurnished apartment. Oh. So I was desperate for anything. But it was, it was what it was. And I kept kept going with it because I just thought it would be healthy for me. And I'm glad I did because I'm still going and been almost exclusively Wednesday class.
Sorry, my bias.
Very biased. But I have had other teachers, just not you or Liam yet. I don't think, right?
Yeah. No. I was like, no, I don't think so. I mean, Liam just joined our faculty. Liam Clancy, guest on episode 2 of the podcast. So I think, most people have not had his class yet, but I bet they will.
Yeah.
Their time will come.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I listening to his episode, it was like, oh,
yes,
there's more than one book about improv.
Yeah, I was like, I felt like I've read a few, and then I spoke with Liam, and I was like, okay, I've read like 6, and he's read all of them
and could recall them.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I hope he writes his own, honestly.
Yeah.
Maybe when he's older.
Yeah.
He'll get there. Okay, I have to ask. Unfurnished apartment. How unfurnished are we talking?
Oh man, it was like a very, very unfurnished. I was living in a studio, which it's easy to furnish.
Yeah.
And then I moved out into a 1-bedroom in Culver, and so I had the bed, and I had like a TV and a TV stand.
Yep.
And a small desk, but beyond that, nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I had like a chair.
You're a minimalist.
Yeah, I was a minimalist.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can respect that lifestyle.
Yeah. Eventually I got stuff, but I moved in there, late 2019. It was at the same time.
Yeah.
So when it all came down, I was like, well, what's the point of I'm not going to entertain anybody.
Yeah.
So I didn't really buy a whole lot.
I mean, why bother?
Yeah.
If you were content, then
I was.
Does it really matter? Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I have a good seat.
A good seat. Have a desk.
Yeah. I guess it's not necessarily like feng shui. Principles to like have such a single serving apartment, but I found my wife, so
there you go.
It worked out.
I think you're doing well. You're doing well. So who's to say? Maybe less is more, people. Less is more. When I go home, I'm going to talk to my wife and say like, hey, just everything gone.
Yeah.
Gone.
Look.
One chair.
That dresser of yours with all your clothes?
Gone.
Gotta go.
Gone. Closet? Nope. Close it up. Seal it. We don't need it.
Car, TV, gotta go.
Done. Dog? See ya. Sorry, Claire. That's the dog. All right, Owen. Before we get into our interview, we got to play some 3 things because the people need to learn more about you.
Love it.
So I've done some research. I've scoured the World Wide Web and, thought of some different categories related to you that we're going to talk through. So any questions before we play some 3 things?
What are you going to say?
Oh, you'll find out. That's the name of the game. All right. So 3 things, but it's personal.
Okay.
Here we go. These are 3 things. Things you do to procrastinate.
Oh, man. Go on Reddit.
1. Nice.
Just go on ESPN.
2.
Pace.
3. These are, don't say that yet. Next category. Types of hats.
Sombrero.
1.
Baseball.
2.
Pork pie.
3. Nice. I don't know what that is. Lastly, athletes that have played for Baltimore sports teams.
Oh, yes. We'll go with the legends. Cal Ripken.
1.
We'll go with Ray Lewis.
2.
We'll go with. I think we'll go with Ed Reed.
3. These are 3 things. Ooh, all right. I like that Ed Reed choice there. All right. So bringing it back around, procrastinate. I didn't pick this for any particular reason. I just figured I know you've worked in production, you've done editing as part of your career, and I just thought you probably procrastinate sometimes.
Oh, for sure.
So that's why I asked.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, most of my experience has been in post, but I have been on set. And if you're on set, good way to procrastinate is to just sit by Crafty.
Yeah, get some snacks.
Get some snacks, chat up, whoever's there. And then, otherwise it's, a lot of the typical culprits.
Yeah.
Or just looking at stuff. That
go on Reddit.
Yeah. And I don't know where it's going with that, but it's hard to, I'm sure, as you know, editing, it's hard to sit with the same, and you'll do this with my voice at this very sentence over and over again, hearing me in your sleep.
I'm going to hear it in 4 days. In 4 days, I'm going to be sitting there on my desk.
Yeah.
Like, hey, wait a second.
And cut, and that's got to go. So you do need to kind of like shake it off and go pace for a second and maybe look out a window and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Now, this is a totally off-topic question, but I just thought of it. Do you think, like, now, like, with technology and just the different things we have access to, procrastinating is better than it used to be?
Yeah, you can be a really effective procrastinator.
Yeah.
Like, you can really go down, like, I think, I'm trying to think of, like, a specific example, but I think I was just reading one email And I was like, I'm just going to clear up my personal email box. This is like my way of procrastinating that I didn't list.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I'm going to catch up, get organized a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just going to read, the New York Times like today.
Yeah, of course.
Whatever it is.
Well, you got to know what's going on.
Yeah, and then I saw something that caught my eye, and I was like, well, what is that? And then all of a sudden I was on the Wikipedia page for New Albany, Ohio. Yeah, learning about that, and that, so that is a something I didn't. You could call it learning, instead of procrastinating.
We're educating. Procrastination? No, I don't know. There's got to be a word for that.
There should be, because I will say that there are times where procrastination has led to, I think if you work in a creative field, you end up just like stumbling upon something that all of a sudden will connect certain ideas.
Yeah.
And even if probably not a creative field, like it doesn't matter. Like you just stumble upon something and you go, oh my God, wow. That connects with this and that generates this new idea. So maybe you're not procrastinating.
There you go. Maybe you're just multitasking. Always.
Yeah, maybe.
Always. All right. Yeah, I agree. I think, it's gotten better. It's gotten better. I mean, just that example alone, I'm like, we have things that didn't always exist, Yeah.
I did have a fidget spinner for a while, and that is like a device made for procrastinating.
Yeah.
Which was fun, but I didn't stick with it. Yeah. I don't know, for whatever reason, it has to be something not meant for that. For me, I do like, I'll mess with a pen or I mess with a paper clip.
Or, I do that sometimes.
Or a really good one, if you want a suggestion.
Oh, I'm open.
Is the staple remover. Those things.
Yeah, because it's like a little,
Yeah, so, you bite your hand with it or you
just attack some paper. Yeah. At work tomorrow when I'm sitting at my desk, I'm going to poke around the office, see if I can find a staple remover.
Yeah.
I'm sure we have one.
Oh, you'll have a ball.
Oh man, that next Zoom meeting, it's going to be killer.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that suggestion. All right. Moving on to our next category, Owen. Types of hats. Now, I would describe you as a hat guy. Do you find that accurate?
Yeah. I'm glad I wear my hat.
Yeah. I was just like, Owen wears a lot of great hats, so I'm going to make him list types of hats.
Oh, well, that's awesome. Cool. I didn't know that is a...
I just thought of it, Well, and I was looking at some photos. I saw some Instagram photos. You were wearing some very large cowboy hat.
Yep.
I believe. Yep. Maybe a beanie in one photo. You might have been hiking or doing something outdoorsy, and then you're wearing what is that, LAFC hat right now?
Yeah, LAFC.
So there you go.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I like the feeling of a hat.
Yeah.
And then I also like the idea of being able to kind of rep something.
Yeah, absolutely. Sports teams.
Without, it's a little less loud than a shirt or a jacket.
Yeah.
And a little more versatile.
Yeah.
And then I also just like the way, this is weird, but the way this kind of hat, because it has this, kind of form here, the way it makes my head look.
Yeah. It adds like a good shape.
Yeah.
Now, if you're ever about to go into a serious moment, do you ever take your hat and then turn it backwards and then like do something really awesome?
All the time.
Okay, good. That's what I was hoping to hear.
Yeah, especially when I'm like about to do a kickflip.
Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah, I was thinking of, like, you ever see Pokemon?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, like Ash, he turns his hat around before he catches any Pokemons. Like, I think more people should do that. If you're wearing a hat, you have a responsibility.
Yeah.
If you're about to do something awesome.
To punctuate.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, look out.
Yeah. And plus, everyone else can know, and then they can be like, oh, we got to watch what's happening over here.
Yeah, quiet down. Pay attention.
Like, imagine you're at a restaurant, you turn your hat backwards, and then you're like, I'm going to eat all this soup right now. And then you just...
The chowder, right?
Yeah. It all comes back to chowder, Owen. Shout out to Chowder Man.
The Chowder Man.
Chowder Man. I haven't had a good chowder in a minute here. I'm going to have to work on that this week.
It's a good day for it.
It is. I ate chicken salad for dinner, though, so that's on me.
Yeah.
But
it really is.
What can you do? All right. So our final category, athletes that have played on Baltimore sports teams. Why Baltimore sports teams? Why'd I ask you about that?
So Baltimore is where I'm from.
Baltimore, MD.
Yeah. And growing up, the Orioles were just huge, especially Cal Ripken, who, was just this huge, positive, very clean-cut sports hero.
Yeah.
That had this one record that everyone still believes is unbeatable. the consecutive games record. And the Orioles were quite good. And yeah, it was so that, they're coming back. I think the Orioles are coming back. But it was just a magical team to be supportive of. And then the Ravens came to town.
Yeah.
When
96, right?
Yeah. In 96. And, it was like it was weird because it wasn't something we all grew up with, but all of our parents' generation grew up with the Colts, and they had left town, and it was really painful. I had never, supported them or knew them really as a team. I just knew that Johnny Unitas was this like Baltimore icon that was still in Baltimore and still kind of repped Baltimore sports. And it's a town that loves its sports
loves
heroes.
its teams. Yeah.
And then the Ravens found success really early.
Yeah.
And then again about 10 years ago.
Yeah. Joe Flacco.
Yeah. Oh, Flacco.
Yeah.
Flacco, baby, as they say. Ray is a complicated player.
Yes, he is.
But he was really fucking exciting.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, he was so good. I remember watching him. I was just being like, he stressed me out, man. Him and Ed Reed both.
Ed Reed maybe
yeah.
even more exciting. I mean, I'd not to make this into like a sports debate podcast, but like he was awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
just mind blowing. Like he was always in the right spot at the right time. Anytime he made a interception, it was like a clean pick.
Yeah,
it wasn't like a contested ball. He just knew where it was going to be, and just like got it and was already in stride. And then he also did like some kind of foolish, like almost showboaty type of stuff. Well, really showboaty type of stuff that did get him into some trouble sometimes. But that's just who he was. He just was like kind of ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
And so he was bored and decided to do some showboaty things. But and at times it cost the Ravens some games. But anyway, I could go on about them.
Sure. All right, one more question about Baltimore sports. I only really know football, so I'm just going to keep it football. Do you have a favorite current Baltimore Ravens player?
Yeah. I mean, Lamar, but it's it's hard. So let's maybe say besides Lamar, Roquan.
Yeah, just got him from the Bears.
He's been great.
Sure, yeah.
And then Andrews is,
he's
tough,
so good
player.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to pick one, I guess, but
I mean, those are
Gus and JK are pretty great.
Fun little backfield you got going there.
They are.
When they're not injured.
It's really painful.
Yeah.
But how can you not like Lamar? He's so cool.
No, I think Lamar's great. I don't know what's going to happen here with this this contract situation.
It's painful.
Yeah.
For
fans.
We were even talking about it today at my office because it's now transcended just local sports news.
Oh,
it's
everybody's talking about it.
Yeah, it's league wide.
Yeah.
And it's more about players wanting guaranteed contracts than it is about just him and the Ravens.
Yeah. It's a part of a bigger conversation. I think.
So I hope they keep him, but I think I've like started to make peace with the idea that he might not stick around.
Yeah. Get some draft picks at least.
Yeah.
It would be sad.
Yeah. Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters and I think Kyle Hamilton's going to turn into a good player.
Nice.
But
defense. Oh man. All right.
Who's your team? I don't even know.
Los Angeles Chargers.
Ooh, right.
Well, San Diego Chargers, but
that's right. Okay. Yeah.
I grew up down there, so part of when they were
talented team.
Sure, every year.
A lot of talent. What's going on?
A lot of other issues.
And that Jaguars game.
I kind of after that game, I just stopped really paying attention to football for like 3 weeks because I was like, I don't care.
I don't think it gets worse than that.
Yeah, it was. I've seen a lot of bad losses as a fan of that team, and That might be the worst. There was another playoff loss to the Patriots back in, that was the 06-07 season.
Yeah.
And that's up there because that was like LaDainian Tomlinson MVP year. But this one just, because it was the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Like that one was to the Patriots, and it's like, it's the Patriots, you know?
Right.
But the Jaguars, like, I mean, they're definitely better, but it's just like the Jaguars.
Yeah. And you had the lead, you had
the 27-point lead, and oh no, don't make me.
Yeah,
that's
rough. But I mean, that's the game.
That's football. All right, so maybe we should make a separate episode just talking about sports.
Yeah,
because I mean, I'm like all football. I have limited knowledge of other sports besides like I know who the Orioles are.
Yeah,
and things like that. But,
who Cal Ripken is.
I do know who Cal Ripken is. There's a few. Yeah, and there's 4 bases, from what I understand.
Yeah.
But anyway, Owen, we're here tonight to talk about improv.
Indeed.
And I want to learn about your journey, your story. So when do you think is the first time in your life that you heard of or learned about, or, when was improv first introduced to you?
So as a listener, for a long time listener, first time guest, I've also obviously heard most people say, whose line is it anyway? And that is certainly a one that really kind of added a lot of dimension to what my understanding of improv was. And I couldn't tell you if I think this other introduction came before, but maybe it was after, so I don't know. But so besides, coming home from school and watching that show, which was huge.
Yeah.
There was also my grandmother, who was an actress and taught drama at a local university in Baltimore. Shout out Towson Tigers. She taught Charles Dutton. I don't know if you that name rings a bell. He was in Rudy.
Okay, I like Rudy.
Yeah, he was the groundskeeper guy.
Okay.
There's a GIF of him where he's like clapping.
Okay, yeah.
He was also in Alien 3. Anyway, she taught him, and then she was also on an episode of Homicide: Life in the Streets. She played like an old flame of a victim. Anyway,
spicy. Yeah.
Her name was Winifred. But weird story. My grandfather, her husband, decided to just call her by her middle name, 1950s man, I guess.
Yeah.
Just decided you're going to be Joan now.
Yeah.
So she went by Joan for a while, and then as she became my grandma, she needed to pick a grandma name, and didn't want to be grandma or Grammy or anything like that.
Yeah.
And she just loved the name Gabrielle.
Okay.
Yeah. So she just went by Gabby. She was like, "You're going to call me Gabby."
Yeah.
So Gabby knew all this, world of drama and theater, and introduced me to a lot of it. And
yeah.
I kind of recall her always pointing out someone like Robin Williams.
Oh, yeah.
And saying, explaining to me that he is not using a script, he is improvising. He is just kind of going off of what's in his head. And that always fascinated me because obviously, that guy is just so dynamic and captivating that you're like, wow, he's just making it up. And so when she explained that to me, it was a, it always stuck with me. And then I saw Whose Line, and that kind of, again, added so much more structure to it.
Yes. Gave context to everything.
Yeah. And I think at around the same time, in middle school, I had a teacher named Miss Bernstein. Shout out. She had us play. She was our English kind of teacher, but had a strong drama background as well, and had us play improv games.
Yeah, I love that.
So some of them were warm up-y, and then some of them, one of them, which we played a lot, was Park Bench. Does that actually ring a bell for you? Because I was curious.
I think I've heard it as Park Bench of Truth.
Oh, okay.
There might be a different version of it, but I think I've played something similar. But
Yeah, I mean, it was like really, basic. One person just is already on the bench, and another person enters, and just they have a conversation. And for our purposes in that class, it was like just shake off the nerves enough so you can have like a scene and establish a relationship. About what's going on between you two. And I have a twin brother, I should say, because that revelation that our grandmother gave us like more ammunition to just goof off with each other, and use our imaginations to improvise. We played in our game, like we would play games. We would one up each other, and we would create characters for each other to play, and then see where a scene would take us. He created a character named Ralph Conver.
it's a great
He's
name.
like a world-renowned hairdresser.
Oh, I'm sold. Okay, give me the screenplay and
Yeah. So and like he was, like 8 years old, 9 years old, and he'd like walk around to my sister or to my mom or to our aunts and like play with their hair and be like, "This is trash," like he's all French.
This is a great character.
My character wasn't as cool.
That's okay.
Mine was called. My character was called Fascinating Man.
Fascinating Man. Okay,
and
I love it.
Generally, a superhero that was just super fascinating. Yeah, just had a lot of intrigue and he's well read and well traveled.
That's good. It's good to be cultured. Expand your horizons.
Yeah.
Did the Fascinating Man ever hang out with Ralph Conver?
Yes.
Wow.
On a trip that our family did in the back.
We as you should
certainly had a lot of conversation. And we play a lot of different games that were both like structured in school and those kind of settings that we found.
Yeah.
And then just on our own. And then in high school there was a improv team or club, I guess would be more accurate description. And we would meet sometimes. I can only remember actually like a handful of times where we would actually get together to meet, because I guess it wasn't like a full on credit, like a class that meant something to the school. It was like, if there's time, you can have a club and maybe if you find some space, and then maybe if you want to do a show, and there is someone will allow you to do it. And so I remember doing one show.
We'll see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the show was bad.
I don't believe that. I bet it was great.
We didn't practice all that often, and but we still had fun. That's what mattered.
Yeah, I think especially in high school, like if you're not having fun doing it, then Okay, so your exposure to both like theater arts, performance, comedy, and then improv started from a pretty young age because of Gabby.
Yeah.
And Robin Williams, like forget Whose Line. No offense to those guys, but I'm a Robin Williams. Especially like 80s, 90s, the movies, the shows, like all his stand-up specials, and going back to the 70s too. Like, it's just influential.
For sure, yeah. For him, and then like I think my mom took notice of what Patrick and I were interested in, and then said, "You guys might like this," and then introduced us to Monty Python.
Oh man,
yeah.
And
we were like, "Yep."
Yeah, you're like, "Thank you, we love this." Yeah, all the sketches, the movies. There's so much there to go through as well.
Yeah, and my dad could not get over the fact that they would just use coconuts in the Holy Grail.
It's one of the best bits.
He just couldn't. Like that is something that will continue to make him laugh forever. And so that all became big interests in my life beyond our sports teams and other stuff. I remember my grandmother took us to see Chorus Line. I don't know if that's really related to comedy specific.
It's a Sondheim musical. It's related to everything.
But I guess I gotta bring it up just because she, even when we were probably a little too young to see that, was trying to like get us out there and see some stuff.
Yeah.
And when the song Tits and Ass came on, she literally wanted to die.
She's like, oh.
Yeah. I forgot about this one.
Yeah. You are 8 years old.
Yeah. And my dad, our parents took us to see Jerry Seinfeld.
Wow.
When he came to Baltimore.
Oh my gosh.
And we saw David Brenner.
Wow.
Who's a little lesser known, but like pretty influential guy. And then we also saw George Carlin.
Wow.
Before he passed.
Yeah.
He was rather vulgar.
Yeah.
So yeah, just I guess comedy in general, and then improv was also like a very big part of that.
It's all connected, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even musical theater, right? Actors are making choices in the moment, in a scene, trying to keep things fresh. Like there's improv in there as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Tangent, but can you give me your best, like, what's the deal Jerry Seinfeld joke? Like, what would you do? Yeah.
Let me think about this. What's been really grinding my gears?
Yeah, what's grinding your gears?
What's the deal with turn signals? Okay, there's only one. There's only one indication that you can make is that you're either going to go this way or you're going to go that way. But they don't tell you when you're going to do a U-turn, and that's pretty surprising. If you're sitting and you're waiting, you're like, well, that was enough time. And that guy's like, no, that's because he's waiting for a really clear, And then it's also just, anyway, there's no punchline here. Just like they should make turn signals that have a U-turn indicator. Yeah, that would be what I think maybe Kramer would like put that on his car.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And then,
Jack.
Yeah. And then I guess George would like get into a car chase.
Oh,
maybe.
yeah.
Or he would be maybe chasing somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know. Maybe Elaine would be dating a cop.
Yes.
And Jerry would be performing at like a retired cops.
Oh, yes. It would all come together.
Yeah. I guess maybe.
It's like Elaine she's in the squad car with the cop, like they're on like a lunch date or something, and they see George go by, and then they start chasing him. She's like, "Oh, you got to get that guy," and it's like, maybe Patrick Warburton's character, he comes back as a cop or like something like that. He switches from mechanics to
right. Well, he plays a cop on Family Guy, right? So there you go.
Yeah, you're right. Right. Oh,
yeah.
It's already there. It's already there. Okay, I'm down. Seinfeld season, I don't know, 10? Yeah. You've already written the first episode. Thank you, Owen. Write that down.
Like
Larry David, get Owen on the phone.
Yeah, or it could be a Curb episode, maybe.
Oh yeah, I'd watch a Curb episode of that too.
Yeah. I don't know. Let me put you on the spot. What's your
okay?
What grinds your gears?
What's the deal with paint on cars? My car's paint is always chipping. And, people tell me I can't put whatever paint I want on there. I don't understand that. Paint's paint, it smells good, but you got to be careful with it. Why can't I put it on my car?
Yeah.
Spray paint, watercolor paint,
You should watercolor
nail polish paint. Why does it matter? Why can't we just have one type of paint for all the different things?
Right. Yeah.
There you go. That's my episode.
Yeah. And then it's just like a freeze frame of like Michelangelo being like, oh. He's like, what type of thing?
I'm there.
That's all I get.
Yep. Yeah. And he paints the whole Sistine Chapel with it. See, there you go. We got that's 2 episodes already. We had the beats. Yeah. So we'll just flesh out the scripts and
they write themselves. We can just start shooting.
Yeah. If you could just have that on my desk by Monday.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. Great. All right. Perfect.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So, I think comedy was not comedy, but live performance and related to comedy in different areas of theater it sounds like a big influence on you growing up, and just having bits with your twin brother. I mean, siblings, they're great for that, right? Having jokes like that and characters and just little things that you do and maintain over the years.
Yeah.
So you're in high school, you're part of this improv club, and that's great. Was that something that like you joined or you started, or you're just like, I'll do improv club. Sure. Why not?
Yeah. I think, obviously I had, developed a huge interest, but I was pretty timid.
Yeah.
And I think with this club, I felt emboldened because I could go there with my brother. And then I knew, several of the members. And once I realized that it was just kind of structured goofing around time, I was like, okay, I can do this. This is great. And I didn't have to audition or anything. It was very loose. Yeah. It was pretty much we'll take anybody. So that was, that was fine. College was different at Syracuse.
Of course,
it was, also Syracuse. My brother and I went to separate schools. So that was a bit of an adjustment for me. And I kind of fell out of the whole scene during college. I did work on a show, but I was a cameraman. So I wasn't really involved in a lot of the creative stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I forget what your question was. Sorry.
I mean, no, that was a great natural transition because we were going to get to college anyway at some point. So you did improv in high school, but then you said you ended up going to separate colleges than your brother. Yeah. And I imagine you probably go into the same schools your whole life. Mm-hmm. That's probably a tough transition, like you said, and kind of changes maybe what you're interested in, or you just college is about discovering yourself, right? That's a big part of the process anyway. So you go to college and that creative side of things, well, at least the improv side of things falls off because I know you majored in film, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you were definitely still in some creative work.
Yeah,
but
no, I still through my main core curriculum was doing a lot of stuff that still served that interest, but extracurricular almost wasn't there, which is a shame. I think I just felt more comfortable with a teacher and structure, and I wasn't really sure about anything beyond that. And I also was really focused on grades. I think a little too much. I was a bit of a nerd. But my brother did end up he transferred out of his original school and went to a place about an hour drive away from Syracuse. So eventually we did get to spend a lot more time together. And then he was able to join an improv team at Colgate, which is where he went.
That's the toothpaste, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Yeah, he majored in toothpaste and minored in improv.
I bet he knows Brooke Shields.
Yes.
So cool.
Yeah, she's great. Super nice lady. No, he did that, and and we were able to connect again that way. But at Syracuse, it just didn't end up developing, which is, I think I wish I had known how much of an effect it would have had on me to be separated, but I do think that it helped both of us develop into individuals now. Yeah. So there was benefit to that, but there was definitely a growing pain.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Less time for the fascinating man, I imagine.
Yes.
Yeah.
He wasn't quite as fascinating during those times.
That's a shame. I bet he was missed. All right. So you go to college.
Yeah.
You study film. You graduate.
Yeah.
What happens after college? Where do you go? What do you do?
Apart from, so we had, we called it a summer of glory, where we just hung out in Baltimore. We worked at a bar, Patrick and I.
Oh,
that's
nice.
my brother's name.
Yeah.
And just hung out for an entire summer.
That sounds great. Post graduation.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was pretty great. And then I guess around August, it was our parents were like, okay, you need to actually.
Yeah. Hey, finish college. Don't know if you knew that.
This isn't like summer before another semester.
Yeah. You gotta. It's the world now.
Yeah. So I have another brother. His name is Chris, and he now lives in Seattle. But at that time, he was living in LA. And I had always figured, since I had just gone through the business of studying all this stuff, I should probably go to the capital of it and try working there.
Should get in the spot.
And it was that or New York, and Patrick went to New York, and I figured, now's the time to try LA if I want to do it.
Yeah.
So I drove out here with my dad, and that was interesting. Just because all he wanted to do was, he like hit spots he wanted to see.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you're going cross country.
Yeah. But so that was fun. And then, so I was here, 22, ready to tackle it.
Yeah.
And, I think, I'll try to not intertwine this too much with my like entertainment career pathway, but some of it is like, part of it.
Of course.
I was looking for anything.
Yeah.
Ended up working on The Bachelor as my first job. And that was super physical work, like, as a PA. The first thing they asked me to do on that show was they gave me a slotted spoon and, and a trash bag. And there's around the property of the mansion, there was, I don't know if it still is the case, but there were metal buckets filled with sand so that people could throw out their cigarettes.
Jeez.
So I had to go to each of those buckets and scoop out like kitty litter,
the butts,
all
right?
the butts, and throw them in the trash can.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I guess that was like a way to kind of like just say, this is who you are on this show.
Yeah.
Like, let's make sure we're all on the same page.
Yeah. You're the butt boy.
Yeah. And I was like, entertainment.
You're like, I'm working in film, baby. Woo.
So that was,
that's a rough start.
yeah, that was intense. But so, I did like a couple years of PA life. And, it was maybe too much and not enough pay to really get into improv.
Yeah.
But I was trying to do something. So I started working with friends of mine to make videos. And so we got together and tried to make stuff for Funny or Die and also just put stuff on YouTube. And then as that was going on, I eventually was able to take some groundlings classes here and there. Which were honestly humbling. I was intimidated. And I did my best. And I think after my second try at basic or whatever the entry level thing is, they're like, okay, you can advance. But then that meant spending another chunk of cash.
Yeah.
But I was like,
on level 2.
I don't think so.
I'll
just keep trying this. And so,
it's pretty demoralizing.
So like we kept trying to do the videos, and I dabbled in a little bit of stand up. And then that kind of stuff, I think, slowed down a little bit ago because people were getting married and
life stuff was happening.
Yeah, like people were kind of advancing their careers. And there wasn't enough time for taking up a weekend, and it is like a lot of sacrifice.
But shooting videos, making sketches, like all of that takes time. Editing. Yeah,
and money, and sometimes it's a bit of a favor economy.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to cash in on a favor and the project that you guys work on together doesn't really come together in the best way, then that can kind of sour some relationships. So, I think we all start to just feel a little bit of fatigue, honestly.
Yeah.
But so we still talk all the time, and if there is ever a thing that we want to try to do, maybe we'll start to flirt with the idea of doing that. But at a certain point, I did think, okay, I need to find some sort of community alternative that can be consistent, that I can afford, that gets me out of my head, isn't too pressure filled, and anyway, you know what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
like I feel like I found it in here. So, and honestly, it's been hard to describe how beneficial I feel like it's been for me, in like a million ways. Like, even beyond any like career aspirations, just generally feeling more comfortable in my own skin has been life changing.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, somebody said life changing or game changing, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But I genuinely say it.
I agree.
Yeah, I remember listening to your episode, like,
When I interviewed myself.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to like kind of live in this world of the arts and pursuing whatever level of arts you're trying to pursue. It'll kind of tear you apart. I don't know if you saw the Fablemans, but there's
I gotta watch it.
A scene where Judd Hirsch is telling young Sammy in the movie, like, you seem to love this, but fair warning, it's gonna really mess you up. And not that not that I'm anywhere near that level.
Owen, Steven Spielberg, Slevin, everybody. No. He's here with us tonight. Owen, James Cameron.
Yeah. So just remember this when I get to the top.
Academy Awards next year. Yeah.
But no, that was just on my mind. I'd seen it recently, and
I gotta watch that movie.
But no, finding, I think, a community that I think is genuinely supportive, and that knows how to not just like perform, but also be a good audience member. The kind that can listen and appreciate everything that you are putting out on stage, not just thinking about their next time they get up.
Yeah.
And like provide thoughtful feedback, and I think I'm trailing off again.
No, you're doing great. Yeah. Okay. So how did you, just like from a logistics standpoint, how did you discover IFTP? I'm always curious.
Yeah, it was literally, I think, just a Google search. I remember feeling frustrated that the two that I know of, UCB and Groundlings, were just a little bit far, and a little bit out of my price comfort.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing a show at West Side Comedy Theater, and I was like, oh, you know what? Wait a second. There's other theaters. There's more theaters.
There's more than two. Yeah. Like, hang on.
Yeah. Wait a second. Maybe if I just could find something closer.
Yeah.
Then I'll feel more comfortable be open to that. Yeah. And IFTP was, I think, 3 or 4 miles away from where I was living at the time. Not anymore. It's far now.
Oh,
but yeah, I know. In more ways than one.
Yeah.
Michael. Used to be on the west side.
Yes.
For the whole time. Now I'm in the valley. Which is...
It's a different life.
Michael. Sad. No, it's fine. Everything you'd want is on Ventura. It's just, I think, just a little tougher to get your friends to come visit you.
Sure. I believe it.
Yeah. But yeah, so I did that, and then I went to a class, and I think I was put in Ben's class, and I stuck with Ben until all hell broke loose.
Yeah.
And then I just did whatever was on offer. I think I did an improv Zoom. I did like a monologue class. I just did whatever.
Yeah.
That they were offering.
Yeah.
But yeah, started with Ben, who's great. And I knew immediately. I was like, oh, thank God! Like this is a teacher that's going to be thoughtful and supportive, and I feel comfortable asking questions and kind of pushing myself in front of to see where I'm going to trip and how they're going to respond. I think that's like the biggest thing that I feel from here is that I feel okay tripping. Yeah.
I can relate to your Groundlings experience. I've done some stuff there as well, and I think I understand, like, you feel okay tripping here, which is important, because if you're ever going to get better, you have to be able to do that. And I know just from my experience, right, at Groundlings, it can be scary to trip because you feel like, oh, I did that. I'm going to fail. I'm going to have to retake this class.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you feel like that, at least in my experience, I felt like that every week. And, Groundlings works for some people. For me, it just, that was an added layer I didn't expect. And then just during my experience, that made it tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if your experience was
No,
like
no.
that.
I mean, it was pretty similar. I think, there's something to be said too. I think of just about the atmosphere and the roster.
I mean, it's hallowed halls. You go, there's Will Ferrell, Melissa McCarthy, Kristen Wiig, the names that have come from there.
Yeah, it's
the
insane.
birthplace of some of the best SNL cast members ever.
Yeah. So
there's a reason it's
yeah. So like no matter what happens in your class, that always is going to be at the forethought in your forebrain, whatever, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So there's just an added layer already. And like I'm not saying who's to say maybe I could go back and try it out.
Yeah.
See or try other things. I don't know. I'm down to do whatever. I took Jamie's clown class. That was super fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this just felt like it checked off a lot of boxes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I very much understand that. I think coming in here kind of in a similar way, I've done some stuff at other places and I was trying to get back into improv and coming here, I was like, oh, this is it. I mean, besides the fact they weren't in person, I was just like, oh, this is where I want to be. This is where I want to be involved. Like it just, it feels good for me.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you did. Yeah.
It's kind of the space I need to be in.
Fun scenes together.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. Okay, so you started classes late 2019, right? It's going well, 2020. Whoa, new decade. Pandemic.
Yeah.
You try and hang in there through all of that. And I know that was tough because Zoom Improv is rough.
Yeah.
We make it through. We come back in person. Do you think you changed as an improviser at all between before the pandemic and then coming back to in-person classes? Kind of an easier pandemic era.
Yeah, I think I'm hard pressed to come up with like specific ways.
Tell me 3 ways right now. No.
I think I, like everyone, was just desperate.
Yeah.
To be in a social situation, especially one that feels like structured and has a common goal, and you're working towards something that isn't just work. Like you're being creative and all that kind of stuff. And I think I was way more eager. I think beforehand, I honestly was still so kind of timid that it was a fight every time to go to class, even though I just extolled all the benefits and how loved and supported I felt coming to each class. I think the anxiety was still so in my body that come class time, I would feel like too nervous to go. And that was still the case, I think, for even after the pandemic.
Yeah.
I think only recently did I start to feel, okay, I think I'm a little more relaxed now.
Yeah.
But in general, I think I grew more eager, a little bit more, I think just generally focused. I think that did everything to everybody. That did, the pandemic did that to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
It kind of like made you zero in on what it was.
Oh, I questioned my whole life. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how else.
Oh, I think that's great.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll stick with it.
All right. So I know in your time here at IFTP, you've done a number of shows. We've done a number of scenes, a number of classes together. What do you think is the main difference or some of the main differences between doing improv in a classroom setting versus a show setting?
Good question. I think in class, at least for me, I feel everything is slower. and I feel more inclined to maybe take a risk. And I think you can be a little bit more esoteric, and quieter, obviously. And then in a show, obviously it's like, amped up in all of those categories, but specifically just to kind of elaborate on them, I don't have any time to think. And I'm like, damn it, show.
It just keeps rolling.
No, I'm just okay. The nerves are way higher, like way higher. But it's like a good version of them that, it's adrenaline. It's just adrenaline.
Yeah, and it's a rush.
Yeah. And, I guess the ideas, you just feel, obvious pressure to, make use of the ideas and situations that happen, because you don't get to take a break and discuss, like, and kind of reset and take a breath and then be like, okay, your new suggestion is pineapple. You have to keep working with what's there and make something out of it, which I think, is like, going into the deep end a little bit. It makes you feel like a little bit like, oh, okay, I can actually make it out here. I can,
I might be okay.
It's okay, yeah. And it's not, you're not really that in any danger, but it just feels, I guess, higher stakes.
Yeah.
This past show that I was in, it felt, I think I was talking about this with Gavin. It felt like the first time that I wasn't as amped up. Like the first show, I remember my pinkies went numb.
Like,
I was like, should I tell somebody about this?
Hey, just a quick poll of the room. How's everyone's pinkies tonight?
Are your pinkies numb? Are your pinkies numb? Let's go.
Sorry, pinky promise, real quick.
And felt like I was going to pass out, but we did it. We did it.
You did. You made it. You're here.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, that's a win.
Yep.
What else?
Maybe that's it.
I guess. I mean, you've done a bunch now.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
I do. I definitely about the speed thing, I think, too. Because with the show, it's rapid fire. And like, whether you're doing like, you're playing some short form games or even doing clap-ins, you're just like always firing. Especially with clap-ins, I think it's very fast. And even when you try and slow them down, they're still fast. Like, that's just how it goes. And I think the point of class is to prepare you for those situations when things are moving at a quicker pace. And it's, with the energy of the room, the energy of the audience, there's something different about it. And I like both environments for different reasons, of course. Yeah. Class is, you feel comfortable. Like, I want to suck when I'm in class sometimes because I want to get it out. Be like, it's going to happen at some point. Like,
you're just going to,
get it out of your system. And then in a show, you just hope it's all hits, like you come out, you do a great scene, support your partner. It's not always, but even if something goes wrong in a show, stick with it. And then it's going to turn into something fun anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think, well, class is class. You're learning things.
Yeah.
But you also get the chance to unlearn some things. You get the chance to, and we do this, before shows, like warm up and stuff.
Yeah.
But there's I don't know, there's more, it's more meditative in class. Like you get to shed this persona of life that you adopt when you go to work and all that kind of stuff. And I think we're just more methodical about shedding yourself of all that.
Yeah. You take a moment before class begins.
Yeah. And then showtime is,
Yeah.
It's the stage, it's the lights,
Go.
it's the
theater.
the theater, and it's that pace. But I think, and I hope to get to this point, that the really astute improvisers can notice when the pace is going, I think, maybe a little too breakneck.
Yeah.
And they're able to pace things down in a show, and let the audience, they have an understanding. I don't know if I'm there yet, but have an understanding of where the audience might be at.
Yeah.
And try to meet them
we're
where
tired.
they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that you can build up again, or build in a different direction, or just, take your time with this one detail so that we get it right, and then we can lay another brick on top of it.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
That's a good observation, though, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
like bricks over there. So.
oh, true. Those are definitely real. Just off camera, we have a very real exposed brick wall. Not to brag. Again, very real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to touch it.
Yeah.
How real it looks.
Yeah. I can't put it on camera because it's so real that I don't want the audience to feel bad. Yeah. But thank you for noticing that. All right, Owen, I got a couple more questions for you, then we're going to get into some games.
Cool.
So this next question, this is a doozy. What do you think has been the impact of improv on your life?
Immediately, the immediate impact for me, I found in my work life, which was the idea that you're supposed to use everything, right? I think Matt in class says it's the depression. Use it. And it's not a direct comparison. In my job, I wouldn't literally use every idea in a show, but a show idea, like a concept I'm trying to write up. But I would, you encounter writer's block all the time, right? Blank page is really scary.
Just that cursor blinking.
Yeah.
Killer.
Yeah. And you're like, okay, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
This show is about, and so I have felt less fear since of the blank page since doing improv, because I just go, okay, we'll just get something out, and then we'll work with it. It doesn't matter what it is, and great scenes can come of that, and sure enough, great material can come of that elsewhere. If you just get something started, no fear, and maybe you will use it. You could, end up using. And I feel like I have. Can't think of any specific examples at the moment. But, so that's been an immediate impact. I think elsewhere, I have felt more comfortable in social situations, just talking about myself.
Yeah. Opening up.
Yeah, opening up. I think I typically would try to make a joke or whatever it is, but I would just bide my time, wait, and look for an opening, and then try to hit it. Yeah, then it'd either take it or it wouldn't, and then if it wouldn't take, I'd be like, well, I'm out of this social circle.
Never speaking again.
Exactly. I've never, yes. And and I would be I would try to hedge my bets so much, I would say it under my breath to one person. Yeah. That I would maybe think the joke was good.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been in that situation. Yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, I've done that.
No, not that I'm now a full-on extrovert, but I just feel more comfortable. Yeah. And I think just in terms of, I guess it's the same principle as I was saying before this last one, just generating ideas. The blank page is one thing, but also in life, you need to just generate ideas for what you're going to do on the weekend or what.
All the time.
Yeah, all the time for any reason. Yeah. And a new way to say something. Ideas for you and your partner to spend your time together, whatever it is. I think having just that access to, I guess, gray space is really a really nice tool.
It's huge.
Yeah. What else? I feel like in a lot of different ways, it's really helped. I think it's improved my relationships in the sense that if you're just more open and you're also providing ideas without too much ego behind them, that is, I think, foundational to a good partnership.
Yes.
And a lot of problem solving occurs with that. And so I think that is all, like I said, foundational to a good relationship. So, it all kind of comes with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I like that a lot. Yeah. Providing ideas without ego. Good. All right.
I happen to like that idea a lot.
Yeah,
I think it was pretty great.
Yeah. Thank you for coming forth with no ego at all.
Yeah.
Just zero ego. Instead of an O in the word ego, it's a zero.
Yeah,
with you.
exactly. Yeah.
I appreciate that, Owen.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. My last question for you, Owen. Thinking about your improv journey thus far, where you've been, where are you going? Where are you headed? What's next for Owen Slevin in your improv journey? Is it, do you have any goals you're looking to accomplish here in the year 2023 and beyond?
Great question. I knew it was coming.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, this is an original question. I've never asked it on the show before.
I've thought about this. I think I need to maybe commit a little bit more time to writing down something specific. But for me, in general, do more shows.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll be able to go to camp this year, and I wasn't able to go last year because it was on my honeymoon. And this time,
probably a good time not to go.
Yeah. And this time, if IFTPers don't know, I am expecting a baby in September. My wife and I are expecting a baby.
Oh my gosh. Owen's pregnant.
Yeah.
No. Well, congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Wow, you just dropped that on a podcast.
I did.
We're gonna get clicks. That's clickbait right there. Improv for the podcast, episode 26, seven. Owen baby? Question mark. Then people will be like, does that mean Owen's acting like a baby? Does that mean he's having a baby?
What does it mean?
Yeah, does that mean he brought a baby with him?
Yeah.
People are going to have to find out.
Yeah. It's like bigger than Rihanna's Super Bowl.
Oh, really? Way bigger. Yeah, she did what, a 10-minute show pregnant? You're doing an hour plus podcast with a pregnant wife.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
brave.
Unreal. Unreal.
But anyway, yeah. So
yeah. Well, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
That's fantastic.
Baby boy coming in September, and
you might be busy.
I might be busy during October, but
he might like improv camp too.
Yeah, he might.
Yeah,
yeah.
Babies love camp, especially like brand new ones.
Yeah,
they love nature.
But they do love water, and I hear that there was a water issue.
There was.
Well, I guess babies don't love water.
But that was last year.
What I'm talking about.
Babies. I don't know.
I think they have milk instead.
Yeah, they're more like milk, like smashed up peas, kind of stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, camp is on the list. Sketch class is on the list. So whenever that comes to be.
Heck yeah. Yeah. Who are we waiting on for that? It's me. I know.
But beyond that, I guess, I would like to try to, I guess a goal would be to figure out like what it is that I think would make me a better improviser. I often confuse myself in class. I'm like, oh, I'm good at that. And then the next class will happen. And I'm like, I don't think I'm good at that.
You're like, wait a second. Yeah. I've definitely done that before. Like, I know this. I do not.
No, I don't know that. So I guess it's just figuring out what my strengths and weaknesses are.
Absolutely.
And knowing that is always going to be dynamic, I think is part of it.
Self-reflection is a huge tool.
Yeah. It's been a journey of that. going to classes where I feel like I didn't, where I didn't feel like it really went all that well, and being like, well, I quit.
Yeah, driving home in the car, like, well, I guess I'm done with improv now.
Yeah.
A lot of free time.
And then and then having a good class, you're like, well, I'm awesome.
All right, just waiting for that phone call or email. Someone should be reaching out soon.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe a team. I don't know if that is a very sought after movement within this community, but if there is one, I think that's something that would be fun to do. What else? I think that's about it, honestly. I maybe there's something else in the future.
Yeah.
But I like where I'm at the moment.
Yeah.
And if there's just anything that is offered through here or elsewhere that I think would make me a better improviser, then I would definitely be interested in doing it.
I like that. Just be open to it.
Yeah.
Now, how soon till your son starts classes?
His due date is September 14th.
Okay. So he'll have to wait till October.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a bummer. It's kind of a waste of a couple of weeks, it sounds like. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe he can audit or drop in.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's up to him, really. So, I mean, I'll leave him with you.
Okay.
And then he'll decide.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Thank you so much for sharing that, Owen, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
That's really exciting.
Yeah.
Oh man, because I know you got married last year.
I did, and so
in June. I did. Yeah, we both got married in 2022. Boom, boom, boom. Very nice. But
ring.
No baby yet. Waiting. Anyway. Hi, babe. Anyway, all right. You ready to do some improv?
Sure.
All right, let's make your future son proud.
Yes.
Here we go. So we have 3 games we're going to be playing tonight, Owen, and these are going to be some games that we're going to play. That was an awful description. So I have a question for you. Do you have anything in your life, Owen, that you would describe yourself as something you're addicted to? Like, I'm addicted to blank.
I don't want to say video games, but I guess that, I'm kind of hooked.
All right. Video games.
Yeah.
Going with that. All right, Owen. So we're going to be playing a game called My Strange Addiction, loosely based off the reality show, which I've never seen, but I did read the Wikipedia article for. You are going to be addicted to video games, and we're going to explore what that looks like.
Okay.
And I'll black us out when we're done.
Cool.
Welcome to My Strange Addiction. We're here with this individual who claims that they are addicted to video games. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Trevor.
You got a last name, Trevor?
Wilkesbury.
Trevor Wilkesbury. So you were submitted to the show by your girlfriend. She said, you've got to come meet Trevor Wilkesbury. My boyfriend, he is addicted to video games. And why do you think your girlfriend would say that?
Well, she thinks that I spend too much time playing these games.
Yeah.
Whereas I have calculated how much time I'm playing on these games. And actually, the ratio between the games and the time I spend with her is almost 2 to 1.
Almost 2 to 1.
It's like, it's not a bad ratio, I don't think.
And 2 to 1 on her, right?
No, 2 to 1 on video games. Mostly Candy Crush.
Candy Crush. Okay,
Yeah.
so you're more of a mobile gamer.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sorry. You are holding a phone in your hand.
Yeah, was that?
That was a stupid question. I'm sorry. So you spend 2 to 1 the amount of time playing video games as you do with your girlfriend. Now, let's say you're playing Candy Crush. Is it all right if your girlfriend sits next to you, maybe watches you?
No, it's not good for the strategy. Yeah. And at a moment's notice, I might need to take a breath. I might need to massage my hand. It would be good if this might be a new thing. I might have her stick with me so that she could do a quick massage if I need to get rid of a hand cramp.
If you tighten up.
Yeah. But for the most part, I need focus. So if she stays by, gives me hand massages, but does not interact with me otherwise, that would be great.
Okay.
So yeah.
When did this addiction start for you, Trevor? When did you get into video games?
I was on the toilet at work.
We've all been there.
And I came across an Instagram ad. And the ad promised a magical journey through a land. And I thought,
sounds interesting.
I must try.
Yeah.
I must do this. And I don't want to go back to work. So I bought the game and I stayed on that toilet for quite a while.
Yes, sounds like it. Because you
while.
were on a magical journey.
I couldn't stop.
Yes, absolutely.
The colors.
The colors I've seen. Quite vivid.
Yes.
Yes.
There's one where it's like a disco ball.
A disco ball.
Yeah, you combine them and it just ruins or crushes all the candy.
Of course. Crushes the candy.
So, yeah.
Wow.
That's how I discovered it.
That's an incredible origin story. Trevor, would you describe yourself? Do you identify as a gamer?
I don't like the term. I don't like the term. I believe I'm solving puzzles. For what? I don't know. But it's for something.
But it is for something. You are solving them.
I'm quite good at that.
Now,
at solving these puzzles.
we reached out to...
I'm a problem solver.
You are a problem solver, a puzzle problem solver. We reached out to the developers of Candy Crush, and they said that you are far and away the #1 ranked Candy Crush player in the world.
Really?
Really.
Well, this is great news.
They said no one spends nearly as much time as you do crushing candy.
Amazing.
And my question to you would be...
Wait. What did they say? Did I win something?
Just, you've got a lot of fans over there at the game developer's office. At King Interactive. They're big fans of yours.
But maybe I'll get a trophy.
Maybe.
Okay. All right.
Maybe.
Okay.
We'll see. I might have to reach back out and ask some follow-up questions.
Yeah, I would love to hear.
Yes. But your girlfriend wanted us to ask you,
Yes.
if you were to cut back on your Candy Crush time, say the ratio was 2-to-1 before. Say, what if you made it 1.5 to 1? Is that something you'd be willing to do for her? If you were able to maintain your top status in the leaderboards, Candy Crush.
I suppose if we could negotiate between 2-to-1 and 1.5-to-1, that might be something that I'd be open to. Is this something that she's actually asking, though?
Yes,
Oh,
it is. She's just been afraid to ask you because she didn't want to ruin your focus.
is that why I'm on this show?
Trevor Wilkes-Barre, you have a problem.
What?
Blackout. Oh, I quite like Trevor Wilkes-Barre. I would watch him.
What is it's a weird type of gamer, but
Yeah, I know. I liked it though. Like specifically, like a mobile game too. It's just like, in my opinion, like the worst kind of game. Yeah. Very good. I've never seen that show, but I have like a general idea of what it's about.
Yeah, it's just like people who are like, they eat toilet paper all the time.
Yeah, stuff like that. I read about this poor woman who eats drywall.
Oh. And they're like, stop. And she's like, I can't. You're like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's brilliant television.
Yeah. I don't know how
do you
that
turn away
happens
from
to
that?
folks. Yeah. There was someone who drinks nail polish.
That's insane.
Again, I just read the Wikipedia.
Yeah.
I learned a lot.
Yeah. You should tune in.
Yeah, maybe I should check it out.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. You know, you don't want to get addicted.
Yeah, true. My Strange Addiction? My Strange Addiction. What is it? My Strange Addiction. You don't understand. That could happen. This could be a gateway to something nefarious.
Yes.
Keep my eye out. Okay. For this next game, now I'm going to preface this with, this could either be really great or really stupid. I don't know how it's going to go.
Oh, perfect.
Because I made this one up entirely. It's not like... All right, this game is called Raise the Stakes, and I mean the word stakes in both meanings. Here's why.
Ooh.
What is a high stakes... Well, we're going to play out a high stakes situation that takes place in a steak restaurant.
Oh.
And that's all we're going to get as a prompt. A high stakes steak restaurant situation. This game is called Raise the Stakes. I'll black out when I think we're done.
All right. Josiah.
Yes, Christopher.
We need to stack the stakes higher.
Higher?
Higher. Higher, Josiah. We need to beat Steaks Anonymous down the street.
Look.
They have high stacks.
You're Christopher of Chris's Steaks.
Yes.
This is your restaurant.
Correct.
But I feel as though just these business decisions you've been making lately, you've lost your touch.
What are you talking about?
You're trying to make us treat steaks like pancakes, Christopher.
Yeah. Isn't that fun?
It's...
People love high stacks of pancakes.
It's disgusting, is what it is.
When you think of high stacks of steak, all juicy and bloody, stacked right on top of one another, and you have to take a giant pitchfork to stake them down, and then a big old supersized steak knife to cut through each layer of steak. And then when you chew on it, you just almost break your jaw. You don't think that's appealing to customers?
I suppose there could be a niche group of customers who might be interested, but the cost alone, think of the overhead. If you start serving customers, a 5 stack of filet mignons, how are we as a business able to price it in a way that's... it just doesn't make sense.
Look, it's not going to make sense on paper.
Okay. That's an important place for it to make sense, but go on.
Sure. But think about it on the billboard.
Okay.
Steaks Anonymous has that billboard down the street.
Paint a picture for me.
Take a look at it.
Sell it to me, Chris.
I don't want to sell too much of Steaks Anonymous because they are competitors.
Right.
But I will say they have a good billboard. It's nice and high. It's right up there. The steaks that they stack on their billboard blot out the sun. They're so high, juicy,
that is
red,
true.
rare, very rare, bloody rare. And then right next to it, you see a big old, you know who they also like? They like a big old tall boy right next to it.
Oh.
That's right. And they got this billboard that screams out, we'll serve you some food, and a lot of it.
Oh, I like that.
Stacked like a pancake.
Oh.
Pancake steaks.
You have my attention.
What if we did this? What if we stacked steak, pancake, steak, pancake,
Oh, my goodness.
steak, pancake, steak, pancake, steak, pancake? It sops up the blood.
Blackout. It's gonna lose. That was so good. Are you thinking about a career change at all? Like in your real life?
Oh, in my real life?
Yeah. To the steak business. Like, think about the legacy you could leave your son.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, Texas Roadhouse does great business.
That's true. I mean, they're killer.
I kept wanting to say that in the scene. I was like,
You give them a run for their money.
Steaks Anonymous.
Steak stack. Yeah, I like the Steaks Anonymous. I'd go there. That's kind of a mysterious name, which I think is good for a restaurant.
Yeah. I mean, every steakhouse is someone's name. Like,
Yeah. Fleming's,
Fleming's,
Morton's, Ruth Chris. Yeah.
Steaks Anonymous.
Yeah. So who do these steaks belong to? We don't know.
We don't know. We don't know who the guy is.
Yeah. But he does a great job with them.
Yeah. He doesn't want to be known.
Yeah, which is maybe better because then it speaks ideas without ego.
It's Jimmy Dean.
Oh.
Yeah. That's
Oh, boy. Oh, yeah. He's got his hands in everything, doesn't he? Fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right, we've got one more game we're going to be playing tonight, Owen. In this game, How's your alphabet?
It's great.
Okay, good. How's your spelling?
It's mediocre.
Mediocre. Great. Well, this game is right up your alley then. So in this game, we're just going to play a simple scene. I'll give us a one-word suggestion of a relationship. And our challenge in this game is that we need to spell at least one word in every line that we have.
Oh my God.
We just have to spell a word.
Okay.
Yeah. This game is called Spelling Bee.
Okay. Wait. So you say a line and it doesn't start. We're not playing alphabet. Are we?
No. So it's like Cornelius, Dammit. You need to pick up those pieces of poop on the lawn.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Any word in the line. It's just kind of as it comes. Now, granted, it took me about 30 minutes to get over here tonight. It's just because of the rain. And this is what I thought of in the car. So, I mean, the last game and then this one. So,
perfect.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So this is what we're going to do.
Okay.
Any questions for me? Or just jump in?
No, just jump in. Yeah.
All right. So a prompt for our relationship is that we're going to be cousins.
All right.
We're cousins. All right. And I'll black us out when we're done. Yeah, I like my BEER in a plastic cup rather than in the bottle.
Jeff, I think you are CORRECT about that choice of yours.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Daniel. While you are honestly the only cousin I feel like I still talk to anymore.
Yes. Yeah. I guess it must have been since that VOLCANO accident that we last spoke. That was tragic.
Yeah.
And I know that you really went through it with that one. So I'm happy to provide my space for you. And you can drink as much BER, BEER, as you want in a plastic cup. I think that was what you said, right? Plastic cup? Yeah.
Definitely. Well, thank you, DANIEL. I know that at the last family reunion, that volcano, ERRUPTED, and half our family was WIPED out. And, we lost a lot of good ones. Your folks, my folks, several of our, first and second cousins. So I'm glad that we're still keeping up the tradition of a reunion, but in a safer AREA.
Indeed. And that actually, it reminds me there's a special HEIRLOOM that I have for you, passed down from your parents that perished, I think.
They did.
Yep. And it's I have it right here. And it's right here in this bag that I'm going to open up shortly. And it is a TELESCOPE.
Of course, it's a TELESCOPE. This is an incredible HEIRLOOM. This TELESCOPE has been in our family for many generations. I thought it was lost, after the VOLCANO.
I know.
Daniel.
You know that you remember when your parents showed you HALEYS apostrophe S, space COMET on that telescope. That very old TELESCOPE.
Why, yes, I do remember. THANK space YOU.
You are WELCOME.
I space LOVE space U.
DITTO.
Blackout. Oh, that was so stupid, but it's so fun.
That was fun.
It just reached a point where the volcano, when you spelled that, I was like, oh, I'm losing it now. And then telescope. I forgot that word. So thank you for helping me.
I was like, wait, did I say? I think maybe I missed the P.
I don't think you did. I think I just got. It's like you get lost when the other person's spelling it because you're trying to piece it together as they go. So I'm like TELE, and then I was like phone, and then you were like scope, and I was like
Well, sure, yeah. I think there are words that when you spell them out, you're like, what?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't sound anything like
heirloom.
Yeah.
That was a great choice. That was a great choice. Yeah. All right. Well, Owen, thank you so much for playing those games with me. Thank you for being my guinea pig tonight for a couple of those.
Of course.
Getting real creative with it. But before we conclude tonight's episode, are there any last words you want to leave us with on improv, on having a son, on Baltimore sports, on Lamar Jackson contract negotiations?
Oh, God. Just pay him. Just pay the man.
Pay the man. John Harbaugh, Ozzie Newsome, pay the man.
Yeah, but don't pay him too much.
Yeah. Leave some cap space, please.
Yeah. And what else? I don't know. Maybe I think there's been times where you have, what's the advice to somebody that wanted to try
improv?
Yeah. I think I'm going to go reverse psychology.
Whoa.
Don't do it. I'm kidding.
You GOT me there.
Oh, don't let me. Fuck. Couldn't think of I wanted to try and pick like really long words to spell.
Oh yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah, and be RIDICOULES. No, that's wrong.
Well, I know what word you were spelling, so it's the last one on that one. Those like OUS words are tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, spelling them out is that you should do that again.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I want to try it more now
because it is like definitely something more audio driven.
Yeah.
Because like piecing together the word.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. There was I think a scene in The Fabelmans. No, I might be wrong. When they're trying to spell out words. Yeah, they do. They spell out words in the very first scene.
Wow.
I feel like I just.
Yeah. So Steven Spielberg was inspired by this podcast to write that scene.
Yeah.
And then put it in a movie that already came out.
Yeah. It's kind of that's just how good he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Owen Steven Spielberg Slevin.
That's the final words.
Beautiful.
Thank you for having me. This has been awesome. Absolutely. A lot of fun, and I think you're doing a great job. And I can't wait to see what else you do with this.
Thank you. Well, thank you again to Owen Slevin for coming on the podcast tonight and talking everything from Lamar Jackson to spelling words. As always, you can find Improv for the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts, or check us out on YouTube to see the videos. We'd love to hear from you if you ever want to leave us a review or a comment. And until the next episode, we'll see you then. Improv for the podcast was created by Matt Moore and Michael Lee Evans. Edited and produced by Michael Lee Evans. And finally, presented by Improv for the People. Interested in more IFTP? You can visit us at improvforthepeople.com or on our socials, such as Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. Remember, new episodes are released weekly. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.